kind of feel like we all need to know what to do with Jesus. We've got to find where the dust settles, the lines in the dirt, delineating deity or deceiver. Not all of us will turn up believers, but Jesus seems worth consideration. He may not win our adoration, but let's at least decide if he's dead or not. They still don't know where he's buried. But the resurrection is impossible, scientifically ridiculous, just like the idea that if God exists, he would become a homeless hero and die for this. The Bible says he didn't only die. That isn't the whole story, you say. You're right. That isn't the whole story. So maybe this is just some fairy tale so well told that it makes martyrs unrelenting, some fable so powerful that murderers come repenting. But if this hick carpenter from a backwater town with a teenage mother got his younger brother to worship him as God, I never accomplished that, and not for lack of trying. Could he still be around? Dead or alive, this Jesus kicked up one hell of a maelstrom when he wrote in the dust in defense of the prostitute who should have been stoned to death, according to the law he claimed to have inspired. His hurricane blew through an empire and is still swirling across the globe, dumping leaves and traces of truth in trenches of human trust. Was Jesus older than Abraham, as he said? Or was he just another teacher with a particular obsession for metaphors involving wolves and lambs? We could study the history, but the thing is the mystery still rears its chameleon head today. Is he one of those illogical, foolish paths people fall into and grow out of? Or is he actually the only way? The kids in my church dance far more than the stiff, stoic adults, maybe because they're being indoctrinated by a cult, or maybe because they still remember how to be swept up in storms. I watched Jesus cause my friend to shake violently the night he forsook his Buddhist roots and spent 45 minutes painstakingly pushing fear away and reaching for my hand just to pray that Jesus is the only God. His family didn't want him back after that. He left them for a new one, theoretically. Dead or alive, this self-avowed God-man is still splitting hairs, splitting bonds, splitting strands of DNA like twisted helix chains, whether or not we want him to. And if all his dust has settled, then why does it still nettle when it gets in our eyes? Can water become wine? Or do you have to walk on it first? Can the lame and the dead both rise? Can God quench all our thirst with his blood? Why does that sound cannibalistic to some and like salvation to others? Can God exist and be interested in this? Will there be for victims justice, and will mercy meet the guilty like a mother's gentle kiss? Can the worst of us find forgiveness and the best of us our darkness? And can all this happen for and come through and be caused by one man? Loaded questions, I know. But our guns were never empty. We're just waiting to choose the bullet. It is time for you to decide. Are we simply in the wake of his storm? Or are the clouds on our horizon shaping up to be his living form?